Flashback to 2005. I'm young, I have simple ideas, I have a simple understanding in the fields of business and commerce, I have a friend who lives across the street and I hang out with literally every single day. He's 3 years older than me. One day he just vanishes, just disappears out of nowhere. Everyone is concerned and confused. Flash forward to 2009. I get a call from him. He's back in town. Apparently he ran away to the opposite end of the country for 4 years and didn't tell anyone. He says we should hang out, and he has something for me. Okay, I say, and we meet up again later. I realize then our friendship was based entirely around proximity. However, the thing he has for me is a deck of Magic the Gathering cards. It's a Naya deck, with a few worms and some cats, big flashy creatures. This perplexes me. We play a few games of it, we agree to hang out again later, we never do. I promptly forget about Magic, but I keep the deck he gave me, I still think it's cool. Flash forward again to 2012. I find out the people at my new school are also into Magic. Eventually, I bring my deck. Turns out it's garbage. I go to hang out with my old friends from my previous school and they call me gay for playing Magic, not realizing that Magic has nothing to do with it. I'm mildly offended and I keep my deck hidden from them for another year, only bringing out at my new school. 1 year later, these same friends come back from a convention and they all have decks. Now who's gay? We play a bit and all our decks suck, so it's great. Eventually, they ghost me. I don't blame them. And then I start hanging out with Zach. He knows Magic. He helps me build my second deck. It's a spirit deck. I still don't know how to play very well and I still can't beat him. My third deck I make myself. It's a werewolf deck. Finally, I'm able to win my first game against Zach after years of being dreadful. And since then, I have consistently collected Magic the Gathering cards and have loved putting decks together. We got our whole friend group into Magic and it used to be the game we'd play most together. And more recently, Maya and I were in the planning stages of making an online Magic podcast / gameplay channel. Now, why would I tell you my entire life story? Well, to show you that I didn't get into Magic the Gathering overnight. And to show you that I did not fall out of Magic the Gathering overnight. Magic used to be exciting. It was fun to see a new set come out that I'd been waiting for. I could get play and use out of the cards from the last sets before a new one would get released, and suddenly I had a bunch of new cards to play with. There used to be this anticipation, this excitement every time a new one would appear on the horizon, but then out of nowhere, Wizards of the Coast cascaded into greed, paying 1 black and 2 life to draw a card as many times as they could afford and began an infinite turn combo that completely drained the magic from Magic. I could no longer anticipate an upcoming set because there was a special product between this set and now. It was cool that we still had the next set coming, but now did it even matter anymore? There were 2 more products coming out before that set was expected to release anyway, and with better cards and cooler styles and a more limited run. Why would I care to buy cards from a standard set anymore? This alone was enough to take me out of following standard Magic, but I still loved the game. Entered the release of Secret Lair, a cool concept I figured, reprints of old cards that I hadn't been able to get since, as I said, I didn't really fully get into the game until like 20 years after it had come out. I bought that Bitter Blossom, that Kaleidoscope, cats, rats. I assumed this was a one-time thing, but then after so long with nobody removing the greed, the success of their new product bled into the creation of more of this once cool gimmick. They replicated this creation 21 more times before finally printing Traitorous Greed in a standard set. A coincidence? Yep. Keep in mind, they're still on their turn. If you'll remember the infinite turn engine they built, they aren't even winning. They just keep playing stuff. I'm exhausted. I can't keep up with this. Even if I had a steady income, I would not be able to keep up with this. When is it going to be my turn? Either pass the turn or swing. You've played 69 secret layers already. I don't have any more blockers. What are you even doing? Jokes aside, really, truly though, I just want to like the game. I want to be able to play this fun trading card game with my friends and not have to worry about falling behind the power curve just because I cannot buy every single product. It's painful to watch this company actively destroy their game, but it feels like they're just kind of cashing in on the IP at this point. I have one last point, and it's a very important one. The crossover products. Now, in the past, there have been crossover products. In the past, they had this, and these. And these are fine. Notice the silver border. These are official cards that are not legal for play. But then, Godzilla. These are fine too, because notice, even though these cards are black bordered and legal for play, they are alternate art reprints of existing cards. Note the little name underneath the title. Also, fun fact for you, they came out in April 2020 and one of them is called this, so that's great. But then they announced this Walking Dead crossover, which first of all, horrid choice of crossover into a game played by a lot of children, but to make matters worse, these are unique cards with black borders that you can only get here. The company backlash was insane, and the company's reply was essentially that even though people hated this, it would still sell, so they're gonna do it anyway. And it sold. So in response to this negative feedback, naturally, they announce more. Warhammer, Lord of the Rings, Street Fighter, Fortnite, this Stranger Things one that got revealed too, and apparently they wrote homo on the gay guys card, which is hilariously painful to watch. What are you even doing, Wizards? You're turning your game into a meme? Now, in spite of all this negativity I hold towards the game, I still do love to play it. I enjoy playing Commander with my friends, and I'm going to be keeping my decks, but if anyone's looking to buy some cards, hit me up. I'm selling everything I don't use. I'm kind of done with this.